What's going on, everyone? Tech Me Out here, and in this video I'm going to be unboxing the new OnePlus 5. So I did have it in this, little box with the peanuts and everything, and I thought I was unboxing it on camera with the working microphone, and I wasn't, but that's neither here nor there. I just wanted to explain why this is partially open thus far. So yeah, didn't want to hit you with bad audio, so I'll kind of just start it over. So if you're excited to see what is in here and get my first impressions, please let me know by hitting that like button down below. And without any further ado, let's talk. So starting with the box here, we got typical OnePlus branding, with the red and white theme going on here. So not too much different there in terms of what you can expect prior to opening up everything. All right, so in here we have the beautiful OnePlus 5. And yes, as some of you probably are already aware, this does highly resemble the iPhone 7 or iPhone period because of some of the design choices that OnePlus went with. For starters, in terms of what it feels like in hand, it has a very nice smooth aluminum finish on the back. You do have two variants in terms of phone options for the new OnePlus 5. One being the option of 64 gigs of storage and 6 gigs of RAM, or you can go for a more beefier option at 128 gigs of storage and 8 gigs of RAM. But aside from that, on the back of the phone, what you have is your 16 megapixel dual camera, so you can expect 4K recording. I don't believe it has built-in stabilization though, so that's something to keep in mind when doing video, but you can take advantage of things like portrait mode and also something known as pro mode, which is going to give you more manual control over the camera, which is really great for anybody out there that's pretty passionate about photography. Moving on from the rear facing camera, your front facing camera is also 16 megapixels. So I'm really interested to see how both of these fare during testing. Moving along to the left hand side, you have your priority switcher here, which is going to allow you to adjust how your notifications are going to come in terms of if you're going to get notifications for everything, specific things, or nothing at all. So I really like having quick access to that via a switch here on the left hand side. Then right beneath the priority switcher here, you have your volume control, which is just one long slider, so there's no separation between the down and up button, which in my personal opinion is completely fine. Then sliding right on down to the bottom of the phone, you have your speaker in the bottom left hand corner, your USB-C charging port, and then your headphone jack. So it's the little things like a headphone jack that you realize you value and miss when you don't have it, so it's nice to see it here. And then above that, we have our home button with the built-in fingerprint reader, so that is going to be along the front of the phone instead of any place else that you could possibly place it. And then moving to the right hand side, you have your power button as well as your dual SIM tray, which is going to allow you to put in 2 SIM cards. That way you can, in essence, have 2 phone lines running on one phone. And me personally, I'm just interested to see if this will run Verizon, because I've heard rumors that it won't, so before the end of the video, we will find out. And of course, I cannot forget this display. So we got a 5.5 inch screen with an AMOLED display, so you can expect that 1080p Full HD resolution here. Colors should look vibrant and black should look truly black, but we're gonna take a closer look at that as well after we check out what's in the box. It doesn't seem like it will be much of a fingerprint magnet because it does kind of have this matte finish along the back, but it does kind of seem like it would be a little bit slippery, but we'll see. So I'm gonna just set that off to the side for now, and we're gonna see what we got included in this package. So first thing we have our SIM tray ejector here. We have a quick start guide. So you got a little bit of paperwork that you can read through, but I don't know about y'all. I'll only read that if I have to. And then we have all those beautiful pictures shot on OnePlus. So you have a picture that is showing you an example of something that was shot on the OnePlus to kind of get you a little bit excited, I guess, of what's to come in terms of its capabilities. So that's pretty nice. Then you have your red and white USB-C charging cable. Now this particular cable does look sturdy, and from experience with previous OnePlus devices, it has, pretty much withstood the test of time. So that is something that I personally like about this, aside from the color. And then you have your wall adapter. So that's really it. Very simple packaging, your phone, your charger, your adapter, and a little bit of paperwork. Taking it back to the phone though, I think before we set it up and see, how things look at first glance, let's do a little quick size comparison and in-hand comparison with this and some other devices that you all might have. So first up, I'm gonna stack it against my iPhone 7 Plus here. Let's see which one is taller. So the iPhone 7 Plus is most definitely taller and wider. Now, something I'm noticing with these new phones that are coming out is that it just seems to make the iPhone 7 Plus feel, even larger than it already was. Like, it was already a big phone, but with all these companies kind of taking a slimmer approach to the devices in which they're releasing, it just really draws attention to the actual width of the iPhone 7 Plus. So no exception here with the new OnePlus 5. Next up, we got the OnePlus 5 and the Samsung Galaxy S8 Plus. So yeah, you can kind of just look at this and tell that this S8 Plus is definitely going to be taller, and it in fact significantly is. They're about the same width-wise, so that's not too bad, but it is definitely a heck of a lot taller than the OnePlus 5. And then lastly, I have the OnePlus 5 and the OnePlus 3 Gold Edition. Hey, y'all didn't know I had that, did you? Anyway, let's stack these up against each other. Oh wow, these are pretty much identical in height and very similar in width as well. So for those of you that currently own a OnePlus 3, you can kind of expect a very similar in-hand experience with the OnePlus 5. With the main difference to me being that the OnePlus 3 has these kind of squared corners, whereas the OnePlus 5 has more of a rounded corner, which feels better when you're going to be resting it in your palm during one-handed use. All right, so let's get this thing set up, see if it'll work with Verizon. All right, first things first, time to take the SIM card out of my iPhone 7 Plus and then pop the SIM card into the OnePlus 5 and see what success or lack thereof we get with my Verizon SIM. So boom, 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 boom. How the heck was this? Okay, I got it. I had a little bit of technical difficulties as I was actually, conducting the test to see if it would make phone calls. But aside from all of that, I was able to successfully conclude that it is able to make phone calls using a Verizon SIM card, as well as send text messages. However, in testing, if I do find that there's certain things that it won't do with the Verizon SIM, then I'll let you all know. But that is something that I wanted to test out, as I do know that previous OnePlus phone models didn't always comply with Verizon SIM cards based upon some of the hardware configurations or bands or something like that in the phone. But yeah, ultimately, thus far, my initial impressions of this, I feel like this is going to be a heavy contender. Just, initial impressions, this may change as I'm using it and everything, but it feels really good in hand. I do also like that it pretty much gives you that stock OS experience, so you don't have to have that redundancy in terms of the duplication of apps from different companies that do the same thing. You don't have to worry about that. So you can just go in and start enjoying your phone and download what you want and not worry about cleaning up what you don't need. The camera seemed to do pretty well upon the few shots that I took with it. And that goes for that rear and front facing camera, but I'm gonna test it a little bit further as well to see, when does it actually start to break apart in terms of being able to take photos and videos. But it's kind of like that ideal size in hand, especially, being a female, sometimes concern does come in reference to a phone being a little bit too large for comfort, but I don't feel like I have exceptionally big hands and this one feels just fine. But it could be that I'm kind of used to using the iPhone 7 Plus, so anything smaller than that is feasible. I will be doing a review of the OnePlus 5, so definitely drop down below what you would love to know about the OnePlus 5 so that I can be sure to try to touch on it within my review. And I think it goes without saying, if you enjoyed this video, please be kind and hit that like button to let me know that you did, and also that subscribe button so that you can be one of the first to know when the video drops of the review or of anything else that I do on my channel. And as always, thanks for taking the time out to let me tech you out.